The people who surround you shape you. And that's all aspects of life, but also cars. And I've come to a really leafy part of Hertfordshire to meet two brothers whose dad really shaped their car lives. Their dad was a hell of a car owner. In fact, his CV of cars is so impressive. Sadly, they lost their dad during the pandemic, but there's a car in that garage there that is sat there for a while that was really, really close to their father, and they're hoping that I can come and get out. And this is a proper British V8 brute of a thing. And I'm really excited to see if we've got any chance of starting it up and letting its beautiful V8 shatter this Hertfordshire countryside silence. And I've brought a special friend along with me to help me on this one. So this is of course a Barn Find episode of the Late Break Show, and I'm Jonny Smith. Firstly, Robert, I want to say thanks for getting in contact with us.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Because from what I can see in the pictures, it's a bit of a beast, this.
It is, yeah. I mean, we always likened it to a Mad Max car when we first got it, and that's how I envisaged it.
It is like a British Interceptor, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. It really is. So how long has this car been in the family?
Dad got it in December '86.
Okay.
Which is a while ago now. And he went through a phase in his life where he would buy a car every Christmas.
Every Christmas?
Every Christmas. He'd buy himself a new sports car. So he's had Cosworths, TVRs, Porsches, everything you can name of. And his car career started when he was medical student, he was a doctor.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, was his favourite because this is the one he kept. Along with he had a Cobra replica and a Fiat around the corner, which I'm sure you've seen.
A Fiat Coupe 20-valve turbo.
That's the one.
Which,
Bought new, yeah.
And what looks like a slightly broken Range Rover.
Yeah, we call that our theft deterrent because it doesn't run, but Mum has the tyres pumped up and has it washed every now and then to make it look like the governor's at home.
Brilliant. I love that. Can we have a look at the car? So this is an Aston Martin. 70s Aston Martin. But oh wow. I'll put the light on. Wow. It does look so tough, doesn't it?
It looks a bit lower because the sides are flat. But
I know.
Yeah, but you can see what I mean. It's very much Mad Max 2, isn't it?
It is. It's classy. It's Mad Max with a cravat. That's what it is.
Which reminds me of Dad because he always used to wear one.
You guys lost your dad in 2020.
Yep, in June. We buried him on one of the days of the Downing Street parties. Yeah, in the graveyard just across the way. Yeah.
Seriously, gosh.
Yeah, so that was a tough time because my mum was stuck in Ireland. My dad had dementia. She'd been at home, looked after my mum, and long story short, Mum went to Ireland for respite because she's Irish and got stuck there during the lockdowns.
Oh no!
And so missed his death and funeral. Yeah, so that was pretty tough.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
But anyway, that's life, isn't it?
You guys have become car people.
Yeah. I think
because of him.
In the DNA, and he enthused about nice cars.
But he must have liked this more than others because cars came and went. Yeah. But this didn't go.
Yeah. So this has been with us since '86, and this is I think he never talked about it that much, but this is the one that stayed, and there was no question about this ever going anywhere.
Really? And so this is not your dad's.
So this is my brother's.
Because I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah. This is quite special. Yeah.
So this is a turbo.
This is a 1976 turbo.
Yeah, so an early turbo.
Yeah, one of the first ones. He was driving around in this when he was 18 or 19, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
And then the
yeah,
Healy.
So there's a 106 here, which is my elder brother's, and he's had that since he was about a teenager as well.
Really? You guys have such good car taste.
Yeah.
Before we start playing around with the British Mad Max Interceptor, which is so apt, are you hands-on with like fiddling with cars?
Yeah. I mean, my son is doing mechanics, and we've changed the discs and the drop links on my daughter's car yesterday. Hence the bruised knuckles.
That's brilliant. So you're a doctor, but at the same time you're quite
Well,
happy
the way I see it is if you can fix a body, you can fix a car.
Yeah.
So I'm a surgeon, so I like to think I'm quite practical.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I mean, so 1978, V8 V8 Vantage.
Oh, it's not a Vantage.
Oh, it's not a Vantage.
No, it's got the early Vantages. Apparently, I'm no expert. I could be
No, and
wrong.
I'm not an Aston expert either.
But the early Vantages had this body kit on them,
Right.
because they didn't. The later ones, I think, it was all part of it's smoothed in. It was part of the coachwork.
Yeah.
This is very much a stuck-on job.
The ducktail spoiler on the back is quite something. That really is Mad Maxy. I think we'll get your brother to move his 911. I mean, I love it, but it is in the way. Do you know that these have really grown on me? I went through a phase of not really caring about them, and they've come back for me into like, oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people liken this shape to the Bond car, the Living Daylights, Timothy Dalton, which was 1986. So that would have been right at the end of the life of this. But this is at the earlier end, isn't it? This is late 70s.
And in fact, I think it's in the new Bond film. It's come back.
It has come back. Blimmin' forgot that.
Yeah.
That is true. Because this was that sort of era of chrome and body kit. It was like a transitional period, shall we call it?
I think this was after it left the factory.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think it left the factory with this.
Okay.
This is a really early Vantage kit.
Yeah.
So I think someone, in the 8 previous owners in 8 years, someone thought this was a good idea.
Did you say 8 previous owners in 8 years?
So I looked at the logbook, and my dad bought this in 86.
Yeah.
It's a 78 car.
Yeah.
So 8 years, and he's the 9th owner.
My word.
Yeah. I think this is a
What has gone on in this car? Let's open it up and have a little look.
Yeah.
There's a bit of mildew, but it is in very good condition, and there is a rally plaque of the Champagne region, 1996.
Yeah. I think that was Dad's last hurrah, really. Him and Mum went out to France with their best friends, and the best friend had a Ferrari Dino, which was concourse actually. And when that chap sadly passed away, and Dad was offered the car to buy it for 70,000, and he said no, which I was so upset about. Yeah, because that car would be worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. This looks great. Auto, dash looks great. Right, it's time I called in my barn find friend for today. So I said I was bringing a friend along for this one, and I've brought a chap called Freddie, aka Tavarish, from the Tavarish YouTube channel. Now you are, I know.
Is this a Mustang?
It's kind of like a British Mustang, isn't it? I told you it was pretty cool. But yeah, yesterday we were filming together. We casually had this conversation about, you said, oh, well, if you're going on a barn find, I'll come with you. I've got a bit of time. And sure enough, we were booked to come and look at this car. Told him what it was, showed him a picture on my phone, and you were like, I have to come and see this.
It's so cool.
It is cool. So I don't work on Aston Martins very often.
Okay.
You work on exotic cars regularly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So let's start with the simple things. Like we want to get it a bit further away from the wall. So if we pump the tyres up, they've got a compressor which is going to save your legs and
Good.
mine.
Yeah.
So both the front tyres are flat, and I think the back ones are okay.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll see. I mean, I'm going to say we'll push it out. I know how heavy these are. These are really heavy.
How long has this been sitting here?
How long has it been sitting here?
About 7 years.
About 7 years. It's going up.
Look at that.
we've assembled more than just me and Freddie because if it doesn't run, it's a heavy push.
Yeah.
But we need to just check whether the brakes see. So if you've got it in neutral,
In neutral, the handbrake was off, which is always good.
that is really good.
Okay.
Everybody?
Yep. Oh, look at that.
Easy.
That's okay.
That's not even dragging. So heavy.
Ooh. All right. No, we'll
Yeah,
be
I'm a
all
bit
right.
worried about stopping it.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah, a bit more.
Keep going.
We're now on gravel. Okay. Okay. Shall we?
We shall.
You've been itching to.
I want to see what's
Come
underneath
on,
here.
Come on. What's beneath the bulge?
Ooh, this is. Wow.
It is
That's
it's a really good looking engine, I think.
So it has. There's 2 sticks. There's 2 sticks.
Two
to keep
sticks.
Oh.
You all right? You winning?
Yep. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, my stick was a little hard.
What? So and I don't know the ins and outs of this. You've got the huge bulge, and on some of the models, it's an open intake. But this is closed off, which means no air goes through there. That it gets sucked in through the side.
So there's sort of kind of cold air intakes, but this is also a carb, so it doesn't really matter all that much.
No. So we're in carburetor kingdom for carbs. I don't actually know if it's got an electric fuel pump. I would presume it will.
I think it does, because usually if it has a mechanical one, it would go to the engine, the front of the engine where the accessory drive is, or somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah.
This goes to, looks like the back of the car.
Yeah.
And,
Go down there, there. You saw that. That's the fuel filter.
Yeah.
So the fuel delivery pipe to the carbs goes across here. So when we take this off, undo these hoses, big snorkels, should be able to see the carb tops.
Okay.
And then what I would think we do usually, disconnect the fuel, turn the ignition lights on with a battery, and see if we get a fuel pump doing anything, but obviously don't introduce that fuel in case it's skanky.
Yeah.
And then take the plugs out, squirt some penetrating oil and something down the bores, and then we do if we think it's okay to go, we do a turnover with the plugs all out.
Okay. And then we do giant, massive burnouts, right?
Yeah, we go around the garden smoking these 150-year-old BF Goodriches that are actually brown. And talking
Dude, that oil is so good.
isn't it?
That looks really good.
I
Looks
mean,
like it was just changed.
I think, looking at the condition of the oil, and have you seen the distributor?
No, I haven't seen. Oh wow, that looks. Yeah,
So
that cap looks new.
Yeah, that looks new.
The coil looks new.
The coil and the wiring to the coil looks new.
Yeah.
So I'm with my optimistic hat on. I'm wondering if the ignition is fundamentally fairly recent. Bearing in mind this car, it's not been sat as long as a lot of the barn finds that I do, but the last like 5 or 6 years, it's only done like 5 miles a year. It's gone to the MOT station, had an MOT, driven home straight in there.
Is there a reason for that, or?
I think it was. I think I got the impression that the car was so sacred to him. It was almost like the one that you use the least because it's sacred.
Yeah.
So I think it's suffered from lack of use rather than use.
I would have thought that it's just an Aston Martin from the 70s, so it's just a giant liability. That's why you don't want to drive it for more than 5 miles.
We did, when we were pushing it out, it did stink of fuel
Yeah.
at the back, and I'm a bit scared to go under there and see what's going on.
That's okay.
But as usual, if you watch the barn finds, I tend to ignore the original fuel system and just bypass it. So hopefully we'll tap off from there, and then just use a fresh fuel can. The can of hope will come into play.
Okay, so we're gonna get our hands dirty.
We are.
Let's do it.
Do you want gloves or you go gloveless? It's a
What
personal
do you do? What do you do? When you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do.
I tend to glove it.
Okay, I'll glove it.
I will glove it. It's a shame I didn't bring a fleece for you. You could have had a BFF.
No, this is totally okay. I'm in my Porsche.
Right, gloves.
Let's do it. All right, so we got these air filters.
Yeah, like big coffee cans.
These are gigantic. Look at that.
Yeah, they are.
So Mine just came off. It's on zip ties, so it's fine. Look at that.
Oh, you beauty. So that linkage, is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's a little wet over here.
Yeah, I noticed. I don't know how we'll connect my can of Hope to that because I don't.
Well, it's a fairly low pressure system, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got both. I've got injection pressure system and
Okay.
old
So
school.
if we take this off, this might peel back a little bit, and then maybe we could put a clamp on it.
Yes. So what we'll do, we'll leave that for the time being and take the plugs out.
Ooh, that's in there, isn't it?
Oh, shit me, why do people do that?
Probably running a little rich.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think it's
Yeah.
done 5 miles a year for the last 6 to 7 years,
Hasn't even gotten up to temperature.
hasn't even got off bloody choke.
Yeah.
How do you say like and subscribe on your channel?
If these are the kinds of projects you like to see, then consider subscribing. You know?
I think that's really polite.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not in your face, but I do it early on so people can, just have that in their heads.
What you're saying is I should have done it 10 minutes ago on the video.
I mean, you could.
Okay, rewind 10 minutes, and then if you like what's going on here, do a like and do a subscribe. I'm shit at this. Yeah, they just need a little clean.
Yeah. Turn it off. So what happened?
5 seconds of having the ignition turn on, I heard the fuel pump going dick, 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 and it's done that much fuel in 5 seconds.
That's a lot.
That's like a big cup of coffee.
Yeah, it is.
And it doesn't smell evil.
It doesn't smell great, but it's not the most varnished thing I've ever smelled.
No. So that's when we decide you could hook it up, and in a minute, not yet, and ultimately try and fire it up on its own fuel tank, or we use the can of Hope.
I would honestly, if you could go and get like 5 or 10 fresh gallons somewhere, the fuel pump seems to be working okay, but I would
dilute that.
Well, I wouldn't even dilute it because I would run that through and then just throw that away. Like run it through so it empties the tank, and then we fill the tank with fresh.
Yeah.
And that may be okay.
Yeah, okay.
But
you know how expensive fuel is in the UK, don't you?
You know what? That's true. But this is an Aston Martin, okay? And I feel like she deserves it.
Yeah, that is true. And it is going to be single-digit MPG if it does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With that fuel pump, yeah.
Okay, I'm good at my end.
All right, just on position.
Yeah. I can hear it.
Sorry. There you go, the fuel pump's going.
Whoa.
And
Okay.
It's off again.
And it's off.
Did you get a glug of fuel then?
Yeah, we got enough fuel. This is
Is it a no from you?
yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Oh yeah, that's murky.
Yeah, that's dirt. That's like straight dirt.
So, I didn't realise it was a twin fuel pump.
Yeah,
So
I also didn't realize that.
But we live and learn. So we disconnected one fuel pump, but they were still pumping. We've now disconnected both the fuel pumps, so we're not going to have any more fuel pouring out of there. And I think we put a fresh battery on it, or my mothership battery, and I'm convinced that we can go for a turnover without ignition, without fuel.
Yeah, I mean, usually what you would do in this situation is you would take a big breaker bar and put it on the crank pulley and then see if it cranks over. But honestly, everything has been in really, really good shape.
Yeah.
And I feel really confident that it'll turn over and, you know, we'll get a good
If this
crank
hadn't
out.
run in 30 years or 40 years, I'd probably be a bit more reticent. But it ran less than a decade ago.
Okay.
We think.
It's basically new.
We know.
Yeah.
Less than, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, so the electricity is on.
Okay.
The fuel pump should not work.
Okay, I'm gonna
Are you gonna
not stand here, and just in case I get blasted with something. Just a few, you know, a few seconds, Frank.
Okay, I heard a really big spark.
Yeah.
Like a really big spark, did
Yeah,
you?
that's from the coil.
And that sounded dead smooth, didn't it? Should we check for spark? Should we put that back on and look for some sparks along here?
Okay, yeah. All right, ignition off.
Right, so there's no plugs on this one, but there's plugs on there.
Yeah.
So if you lay them in an orientation where they might have a chance of
Arcing?
of showing you what they've got.
Okay.
And the plugs are quite new. Again, the fuel pump's new, the distributor cap, I had a quick look in here, I'll do it for camera. It doesn't even look like it's run since this stuff's got put on, which could be a bad thing, but I mean, look at that. Yeah, I saw at least two.
I got some too, yeah.
So we have sparks. So I think let's put the plugs in and then we'll start playing with fuel.
Sweet.
Yeah?
Okay.
Right, we're at an exciting crossroads.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I know
Yeah.
you're excited.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Freddie's just boiled a kettle and got this fuel line over the Aston's fuel line. We're now attached to the can of Hope through this convenient gill in the inner wing.
It's
really
like
good.
they knew that from the factory.
They knew that this was going to do
Yes.
this. We got the can of Hope hooked up with the fuel pump, so we're bypassing all the original fuel system just in case. We've primed it, plugs are back in, we know we have a spark, we know we have a healthy battery, so I'm gonna say there's a high chance we could get it to fire.
Okay, don't say that because that's gonna mess up this whole operation.
Carbs, you've primed it a couple of times, fuel pump is on.
Yep.
Whoa,
On the button.
that was really fast,
Yeah.
brilliant,
All right.
that's positive.
Try it again.
It's the choke on.
Let it idle. Oh, got it. It's leaking a bit.
Okay,
It's leaking a little bit, but dude, that thing runs.
we just thought we just thought we'd kill it out of safety. It's obviously spluttering and popping because it's probably not delivering as much fuel as it wants, given we know it's thirst.
Yeah.
But it ran.
It ran.
Like, it really just ran away straight away.
This is great.
Wasn't it so nice having the old open throats of the carbs there?
Mm-hmm.
Got a few spitbacks and things, but
Yeah, this is so. There's certainly some fuel leaking.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's wet on the bases of the carbs.
it's wet over here. So there's fuel leaking. I think all the carbs have.
That's the return,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. I honestly think that this just needs to be gone over and rebuilt. Just new gaskets and whatever, because it's certainly taking air from around everywhere.
You can hear it. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I thought that as well.
It was this one and this one.
Which will be the imbalance, that sort of hesitation,
Yeah,
is to be expected. But,
that's cool. Got it running. Aston Martin Lagonda V8.
well, we could just see if we could run it again, but
Yeah.
we could just clean down that, if you want, we could just degrease that area before we... What do you
Okay.
think? Sounds better.
Let it idle. Let it idle. If it dies, it dies. Don't give it any throttle. Don't give it any throttle. Let's see if it dies.
And that's on choke?
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Oil pressure okay? So this is the part of the video where maybe a bit of slow motion, maybe sort of emotive music, and then you clean the car. Yeah?
See, I have good trigger discipline. You never want to have your hand on
Oh,
it.
yeah. Is that safety? Is that the safety?
It's a safety, yeah.
You never know. You twist the tip for more action, apparently.
More action?
So wrong.
This is so stupid.
What I've really enjoyed today,
This was fantastic.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I always think to myself, if we can't get the car running, at least we'll just clean it. But we've managed to get it fired up, and actually, with a fairly rudimental fuel system, it was happy
Yeah.
when it was warm.
Yeah.
And I think it looks so different to all the other Astons of this era, because you don't see black with black wheels very often. I don't think with this body kit.
No, it really looks Mad Max-ish.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So I want to say thank you to Tavarish here for helping me on this one. This is a real bonus to have you along for the ride.
Well, thank you for including me. This was fantastic. I mean, I've never worked on these cars, and this one is... I've never been attracted to these cars, but now it's like, I get it. I really get it, you know?
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I keep staring at it going, it is basically a British Mad Max Interceptor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to Robert and James who have let me come and have a fiddle and have a wash of their dad's pride and joy. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already subscribed, I hate you. Please subscribe. Is that the way you do it?
That's, yeah, that's the way I do
a
it.
bit controlling?
That's a little bit, you know, you came at it a little hard, but okay.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you. Oh, and if you've got a barn find that's maybe not in a barn, it's in a shed or a hedge or something like that. I mean, we have seen hedge find cars.
Yeah.
Let me know. In the description below, there's an email address. Cheers.
But of course, that's not the end of this saga, is it? When Freddie and I went home, Rob, the surgeon, and his brother were so inspired by what we'd done that day that they decided to order a brand new carb rebuild kit, rebuild the carbs and the fuel system, and get their dad's Aston running as well as it did back in the old days. Here's the proof.
I can't believe that there's a car in here.
You can see it real good over here.
Yes, yellow. The back's yellow.
There's a whole car in here.